James Hilder for iPhone TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. With me, I've got Dr. Spencer FEARON. We are at the Muhammad Ali exhibition today. How are you, Spence?
I'm really, really good, and even better for seeing you guys.
Talk a little bit now about, obviously, Gennady Golovkin, Kell Brook, massive fight here at the O2 Arena. How shocked was you when that fight initially got announced, Spencer?
I wasn't shocked at all, because I speak regularly to English, and he kind of mooted to me that that's the way that things could be happening, that they may give the fight to Kell Brook. My thoughts initially was that's a joke fight, right? Initially.
Because you tweeted out the only fight, it was literally minutes before the fight got announced, you tweeted out the only fight you really wanted to see was that of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Golovkin.
Yes, because that's intrigue to me, right? And not only it's intrigue to me for a pay-per-view fight. That's the fight that I would really want to see, because there is a toughness and an ignorance and an arrogance to Junior that is unprecedented in this sport, where he doesn't do things too correctly. Like sometimes he oversteps with his punches, but the kid's got hands. He puts them together really, really well. So because of that, I was like, I'm really, really intrigued in seeing that fight. And off of the back of that, Senior retweeted it, and he put Simon Cowell into the tweet, and he put
Oprah,
Barack Obama,
David Beckham in there.
I mean, who else did he put in there? Right, exactly. So you know what?
Have you spoke to Oprah? Can the fight be made in the future, or David Beckham?
You know what I mean? I don't know. Me and Oprah are tight, you know how it goes. But no, I don't know.
That was quite bizarre, though, wasn't it?
Listen, Chris Eubank is Chris Eubank. Seriously, for me to go and speak about Chris Eubank in a negative, to the layman mind, we would look on Chris Eubank Senior and say, you're doing things wrong, but it works for him, so let him get on with it. That's all I'm saying. It works for him. I ain't even knocking the guy, a childhood hero of mine, but I'm not gonna knock anything vice. So like when it comes to Nigel Benn, they're my heroes, so I love these guys.
Listen, now obviously we've seen the Brook Golovkin fight announced. We've all tweeted stuff and got it wrong before sort of things have happened. We've all been there, we've been guilty of that. What were your initial thoughts next when you saw that Brook was stepping up to face Golovkin at 160?
You know what? He's going to get a lot of money, number one, right? He's going to get global recognition, number two, right? And number three, he's going to give it one hell of a fight, because Kell Brook can actually fight. Now, Johnny Nelson must have said something, and a lot of people were giving a lot of cynicism to what Johnny Nelson. He said one thing about Golovkin, and he kind of said another thing about him, and people was kind of gunning Johnny Nelson. No, we have to be real. Kell Brook is a fighter that struggles to get to 147. Now, if we look at history, we have to look, was it 57 or 58? When Carmen Brazilio moved up in weight to fight Sugar Ray Robinson and beat Sugar Ray Robinson for the world middleweight title. Carmen Brazilio was the world welterweight champion at the time. We go through history, so you have to look at history and say, like, it's not that it can't be done, but the only difference is Sugar Ray Robinson at the time was 38 years old, so he was an old man. Golovkin's not an old man, and Golovkin is relatively a baby in the professional ranks, and he's a monster. I give him that, but what I am saying now, I'm not gassed up by his punching power. His punching power is immense. But I've grown up in the era of watching Julian Jackson, Marvin Cyclone Hart. I grew up in an era where I watched real devastating punchers. Gerald McLennan, devastating puncher. I grew up watching these guys who could punch. So I'm not overly gassed about the punching power. What I am saying, it could be a step too far for Kell Brook simply because of the weight. And it's much about, you want to say, well, and we know that Kell Brook does walk around big. Kell Brook must walk around about 180, right? And then chops it down to get down to 147. So him now being able to chop like 20 pounds off is going to be to his benefit. But Dave Coolwell told me that Kell Brook, they went to spar and they sparred some big middleweight kid, and in the spar, and Dave warned him, careful now, the kid's going to try to put it on you. And he sparred really badly. Then he's a kid that's fixed his nose and said, all right, then we're going back on Wednesday. They sparred on a Monday. He's going back on a Wednesday. He said, he goes, what's what I'm going to do to the kid now? And he beat up the kid. And I've seen him in the gym from, you know that he's a thick set man. And listen, I'm a big believer in, like, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Right, visualize to materialize. This is what I'm living by. But in saying visualize, you have your goal, right? But you have to have a plan, because a goal without a plan, you're just wishing. So therefore, if he's put the right game plan in, Kell Brook can give him one hell of a fight. Because I see mistakes in Golovkin. But loads of people think that I'm hating on Golovkin. I'm not. I rate Golovkin. But I'm not getting gassed up by nothing. Because nobody is invincible. No one.
Will that IBF ruling that it's only £10 over on the day of the fight, will that be to Kell Brook's benefit in your opinion?
Yes, it will be.
Was that a clever move?
No. It's not. It's not a clever move because that's what the IBF has stipulated for years now. It's gonna help Kell Brook, but there is no one in the welterweight division that punches like a Golovkin, right? We were all gassed up when we saw Sean Porter, how destructive Sean Porter was against Paulie Malignaggi, right? Till even Paulie Malignaggi after the fight was kind of hinting maybe Sean Porter was on something for that fight. So we didn't think that Kell Brook could have beat Sean Porter, and we have to say on that style it was a close fight and he was shaken up.
In Carson as well, in his own sort of backyard.
Right, in his backyard. Yeah. So we have to say like now, how hard is it of a fight for Kell Brook to fight a man that is the physically bigger man, right? Who is a physically stronger man and can punch hellaciously. It's a difficult fight, but if Kell Brook believes in his heart that he can do it, because one thing we have to give Kell Brook, he's amazingly talented, and one thing about Kell Brook, he's got supreme balance. Look how he positions his feet when he throws these shots, and he can control things because Kell Brook has got one of the best jabs in boxing. And to fight somebody like a Golovkin, you're going to need a very good jab, and you're going to have a very good body attack. And I'm not being gassed up. Go watch Golovkin in the Martin Murray fight. To me, he struggled in that fight. And people say, what are you talking about? He beat him up every round. And no, he still struggled because he seemed desperate to try and get a knockout that never came when they fought in Monte Carlo. And go and watch Golovkin versus Kasim Umar. I think that was about 4 or 5 years ago, or 2011. Go and watch that fight. Right, he didn't really impress me, even though Kasim Umar was a southpaw, but Kasim Umar was a smaller man. He gave him fits. So I'm saying Kell Brook can box at angles. He's going to have a hell of a chance. And you know what? And I'm not being crazy. Don't be surprised if he causes an upset. I'm saying it now. Don't be surprised. Right? Don't be surprised if Kell Brook doesn't cause an upset and everyone's going to say, and they're going to humble themselves. Do not be surprised.
The knowledge. Thank you very much for sharing.
Listen, man, it's all,
appreciate it.
No. You know, it's always a blessing to speak to you guys. And listen, you guys keep on commenting. Keep on slagging me off. Keep on praising me. Whatever you do, just keep on calling my name. You know why? Because I'm doing my thing. Hashtag toe to toe Sky Sports. I'm doing my thing. And remember, where I've come from, it's an amazing story. Peace.
Keep it up. Thank you, Spencer.